Hey noobs, Mr. Frog here. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Smutty Scrolls, a new puzzle H game developed by Team Tailnut and published by Tiny Hat Studios. The game is not censored by default on Steam, so you can get straight into the game right after installing. One other thing I'd like to mention as well is that at the time of this review, the game is still in a very early access state. It is very possible and also very likely that much of this game will change over time, so do keep that in mind if you are watching this review well after the game has come out. Now with all of that out of the way, Smutty Scrolls is a very unique and original puzzle game where you will control a slime on 3 different screens to complete a series of complex puzzles. Each one of the 3 screens will represent a different location and a different point in time during the same story. You can move the slime character around, as well as interact with the objects on the previous panes to bring items and change the outcome of the future panels. The basic goal of each level is to find a solution interacting with all the objects in each time period so that your slime will survive all the way to the end and meet up with the girl. There is always more than one solution as well, with some levels even containing up to 10 different paths. Each solution will also correspond to its own unique HCG art, where the slime manages to get some quality time with the girl at the end of the stage. Later levels in the game will also mix up the gameplay a bit and add some more complicated mechanics, such as 2 different slimes interacting on a single panel to solve a large puzzle with only one solution. It is a very unique and original idea, and not really something I have seen in other H games, or for that matter even regular puzzle games before. Not only that, but many of the puzzles are very well and meticulously crafted and should provide lots of challenge for those looking for a real head scratcher of a puzzle. If you do ever get too stuck though and just want to see the HCG art, then the game does contain a link within it that will directly open a guide written by the game's developers themselves to help you solve the puzzles. As for the story in the game, there is not any major overarching story for the game, and instead the game focuses on telling mini-stories through each level. These contain stories such as slaying a dragon to free a princess, infiltrating a castle, and visiting 2 witch sisters in a forest. The storytelling here is all done through visual cues, which can be very difficult to pull off in a game, but it does a great job setting up quick and fun worlds for you to solve your puzzles in here. In regards to the art for the game, it is a very unique and interesting style. It has a sort of retro arcade vibe to it, with lots of beautiful and detailed pixel art, and lots of bright and fun neon accent colors. The game also has some fun with its waifu design, with some obvious pop culture references, such as Princess Zelda, whose castle you sneak into for a private meeting, which leads us on to the real content of this game, the H content. The H content in Smutty Scrolls at the time of this review consists solely of CG art that you unlock for each solution in a level, meaning that each girl will have multiple variant HCGs that you can see. The HCG you see will depend on the choices you make during the level, such as bringing certain vibrating objects with you, shape-shifting potions, and occasionally even causing tentacles to fly through windows. The game has a lot of fun with its H content and finds lots of fun and interesting ways to incorporate the puzzle solution into the scene you get. The H art is all very well done, but as mentioned before, at the time of this review, it is mostly static images, so do keep that in mind. Overall, Smutty Scrolls is a fantastic H game, even for its current early access state. I'd say the only downside is that in its current state, the game can be completed relatively quickly, but that time will largely be time dependent on your ability to solve the puzzles, because some of them can seriously take a long time to figure out if you do not use the guide. Regardless though, I'd say the game is definitely worth its current asking price even in its current state, and should only get better and better as more content is updated and improved over time. If you are at all interested in puzzle games, I highly recommend giving this one a shot. With that being said, Mr. Frog awards this game the esteemed Mountain Dew Sip of Approval. Once again, thank you to everyone for all the support, and if you'd like to see more H-game content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure to check out the Mr. Frog stream over on Twitch. Later, noobs.